nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the play's gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. I'll shake it all, I'll shake it all. Hey guys, it's Hannah. So I got a request, well I've gotten a lot of requests before, to do like a vlog of my day, like a daily vlog kind of thing, and I was totally going to do it yesterday when I got my license and went on like a mini road trip in the mountains, but I just forgot. So I was thinking, I was like, oh well I can do one this weekend and show like how I work through the weekend and how I also have time to do fun stuff over the weekend because I do both a lot. So it's actually Thursday, but I figured I'd go ahead and start because I'm on my way to babysitting and I'm driving. I haven't driven in a really long time, like a really long time. Actually I drove to the gym 2 days ago, but like driven on, like, on a big road in a really long time. Oh, and there's someone getting their stuff out of their car. Anyway, so I'm babysitting tonight and I had to also run some errands while I was out, so I went and got fast food. And I was going to vlog before I got my fast food because obviously my lipstick doesn't look as good now, but I just really wanted to eat my fast food while it was hot. And I was going to eat it in the Wendy's parking lot, which is where I got it. But there was like this guy that was legit the creepiest guy I've ever seen, who was parked his car right there. So I drove all, you should have seen, like I drove down and I made like a big loop and then I was like, oh no, I'll go park there. Oh no, that's kind of sketchy too. So then I ended up parking near my favorite consignment store. It's kind of a sketchy strip mall, but it's not as sketchy as that guy I saw. So anyway, I'm going to try to, I have like 30 minutes and I think we're about 10 or 15 minutes away from their house. So I'm going to try to go to Joann's to get some zippers for some skirts I have to make. One for like a bridal skirt. It's going to be like gray pleats and then she wants to have like a light pink trim on the bottom. So I'm like trying that out for her. So I need to go get zippers for that. And oh, this is a necklace my friend Lily made me out of like a real shell. Thought it was pretty. I don't really get dressed that cute to babysit, so I didn't do any outfit photos today. What is that? Oh, it's a speaker. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to Joann's. Okay, so I just put the kids in bed and I think that they're finally not crying anymore, which is super exciting because they cry for a really long time. And I actually have a funny story because they have like this dog and he's pretty big and he like jumps and it kind of scares me a little bit, but my dog is so big and scary I try not to let it bother me because I know my friends have put up with it. And the little girl, I was babysitting this little girl and her baby sister, and she's like 3 and the dog was like barking at the door and I was like, does he need to go out? And she said, oh yeah, he needs to use the restroom. So I let him out and he goes to the bathroom and then I'm like, okay, come back in, and he literally takes off. There he is. Oh, literally takes off down the road and I was like, oh crap, he's running away and I don't know what to do because I have a baby asleep and I have this little girl in her nightgown and like I don't know, I can't just start running through the neighborhood at night trying to chase this dog. So I'm start freaking out and I'm standing on the porch and I'm like, Ozzy, 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 come on, come back inside. Of course the dog doesn't like me, so he's like not coming back. And so I'm like, Abby, come call for the dog. And so Abby's like yelling, like, Ozzy, Ozzy. It was so, oh my gosh. I was like, I think I hear something freaks me out. I was like, oh my word, I'm never gonna babysit for these people again after I lose their dog. But I finally called their mom and she was like, give them a treat. And so I like took the little baby monitor and I put Abby in flip-flops and a coat. And we were like trapezing down the neighborhood in her nightgown in flip-flops, and I had like a coat on and we were like just calling for the dog at night. And we finally found him and he came back and had a treat. But I was like, okay, never again. The dog's gonna have to go inside because I'd rather clean that up than deal with that again. But I don't know when their mom's coming back, so I need to read a book or something. We'll see. I'm not gonna let the dog out, that's what I'm not gonna do.
because that was so scary. Stop freaking me out. Okay, so I just got back from, well, I just got home from Chick-fil-A. I have a cool story to tell you from Chick-fil-A, but first you have to hear about how I almost died on the way home. So I was driving, I made a detour to Chick-fil-A because I really wanted a Chick-fil-A milkshake. And I wasn't 100% sure how to get from my house from that specific Chick-fil-A because I don't really go there very often. So I was like, okay, I'll turn on the GPS. So I turned on the GPS and she was taking me to 199, which is kind of like a mini interstate. And I was like, okay, I've got this. This is fun. I know where I am now. So I was like, I'll leave her on because I'm not exactly sure at what point I exit, like which exact exit I should take because there's a couple different ones. So I have Nuvi the GPS on, and she's like, I'd been driving for a few miles, and she's like, exit right. She has a British accent. That's my best I could do. She's like, exit right. So I exited right, and she's like, in 0.3 miles. And so I was like, oh crap, where am I heading? So I noticed I was going, I was going around this bend, and there were a ton of other cars going with me. And then she's like, recalculating, turn in 14 miles, turn, and then it's like, beep. And I'm like, what? Turn what? Turn what in 14 miles? I don't know where the crap I'm going. And it's like, lost satellite reception. And I was like, no, you're kidding me, right? You lost satellite reception when I'm going on a route I don't know where I am. And so I keep going around the circle, and I realize that there's all these cars I can see, and I was like, oh my word, I'm heading onto the interstate. And for those of you who don't know, the interstate is my greatest fear. Like, I swear I had a nightmare about it once. I've only been on it once since I've gotten my license, and I outwardly screamed because there's someone with you and you might as well, because it relieves some of the pressure. But I was like, oh my gosh. And for some reason there were so many cars on there for 9 something at night. And so I look, there's like all these cars behind me, and there's this giant tractor trailer coming up, and there's all these cars behind him, and I was like, I have to merge. Now is the time. So I merge on, and I'm like, okay, 14 miles. I don't know what I'm supposed to do after 14 miles. I'll just look for an exit that I recognize. And so I start driving, and all of a sudden I don't recognize any of the exits. And I was like, oh my word, what is that county? I've never heard of that. And I knew I was heading in the opposite direction, but I thought I would recognize something at least, but I really didn't. And I was like, okay, I'll just wait. There's got to be an exit I recognize. And then I see a flashing light, and it's like, in 0.14 miles. No, sorry, someone's coming. Flashing light, and it's like, roadblock ahead. Next lane's closed. I was so stressed out. Okay, so anyway, I was heading down the interstate, and I saw this flashing sign. It was like, 2 left lanes closed, detour ahead, exit something. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's gonna be a detour and there's gonna be exits, and I still don't know where I'm going. So finally I recognized a exit that I was like, okay, I know that county, I'll just get off there and hopefully I'll know where I'm going. And of course I get off, I'm the only person getting off, and there's like no lights, and it's super dark, and I ended up on some road, I don't know where I am. And somehow I found a road that I recognized, and I got off it, and I ended up home. But oh my gosh, it was so traumatizing, and I don't ever want to drive again. Except I have to drive tomorrow night to go to the movies. But I'll risk it for the movies and for Chick-fil-A, and that's literally it. So anyway, I think I'll end my vlog for Thursday night here. Highlights were, I almost lost a kid's dog and ruined their life. 2, I almost got lost on the interstate and made a road trip across the country and possibly could have died. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.